Sam, the Andre Drummond buyout, were you surprised by it? How does a guy go from being, one of the top rebounders and I know he's a traditional center, means he's anchored to the low post, to somebody that you can't trade?
The NBA sure has changed over the years, hasn't it? Where you're willing to just buy out a well, he was the reigning leading rebounder in the NBA from last season, and you really had no choice but to let him walk. The Cavs tried to trade him. I had one GM before, when I kind of asked before on the buyout, are they going to be able to trade him? And the opposing GM said, look, they got him for what? Relatively nothing. The two guys who were no longer in the NBA is who the Cavs traded, John Henson and Brandon Knight, although I believe Henson just signed today with the Knicks. But anyway, two of those guys weren't in the NBA as of the trade deadline. So if you gave up nothing to get him, what are you going to get for him? Well, probably nothing. And that's the way it worked out. And that's probably why the Pistons were so willing to move Drummond to Cleveland a year ago. So I wasn't really surprised. I don't think a lot of people were surprised. The Cavs did have framework of some trades, particularly with Toronto, involving Drummond. They also talked with the Knicks extensively, and then the Knicks kind of backed away. The Cavs weren't asking for much, but nobody could really kind of say, you know what, we can justify bringing this guy on and having to give away some key pieces to do it. And then the Cavs didn't want to just take away, bad salary or contracts from other teams. So try as they might, they just couldn't reach a deal. And it all boiled down to the fact that they couldn't come to terms on a contract extension with Andre Drummond. Probably before the season, during the shortened off season, they weren't able to reach agreement. They were nowhere close. So now it's going to be the Lakers. Are they going to be able to do that? Probably not. The Lakers picked them up, probably aren't going to be able to come to any kind of contract extension with him, not for the money he's seeking, and not when they have big salaries like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So, he's probably just going to have a short stint with the Lakers and then potentially come back and, join a team that has more cap room next year. It's too bad it didn't work out for the Cavs because, again, their defense has taken a huge hit since he's been gone, since they sidelined him or kind of told him, we're not going to play anymore in February. The defense has just not been the same. And the Cavs, even with Jared Allen and Larry Nance, when those two are healthy, they need to find kind of another stalwart down in the middle because the guards are kind of letting people drive right past them. So it's an unfortunate situation, but it's not a huge loss in the sense that you kind of knew you were going to lose Andre Drummond anyway.